Hello, good evening, y'all. Good evening. I'm going to try my best to finish this. I tried to get started with this morning. I had to cut it off. All right, so I'm back on again. And I'm waiting on my beautician to come over here and do my hair. So that's why I just got through trying to get my braids off. So, hey, it is what it is. But this is the way it is. And I'm still grateful. All right, I'm still grateful. We have been doing a series right here on Lisa Live Ministry. This is series 4. I'm trying my best to get through with it because it is so much more material that you all need to know about and learn about and experience and understand and all this good stuff. And so we move from one thing to another on Lisa Live Ministry. We're not a standstill ministry. We are a ministry that's always on the go, always on the move in the learning process. We do the research, we know our assignments, and we try to get the words, the scriptures, and things out here to God's people. You know, that's life. That's a part of life. All right, that's just the way it is, and we want everybody to have the good life. All right, God wants you to have the good life. Praise God. And so a lot of people may or may not know the good life. And not only, I hear you, Holy Spirit, not only do God want you to have a good life, but he wants you to have a healthy life. All right. He has given us our life, and it's up to us what we do with the life that God gives us. And a lot of times we try to live our life for somebody else. You can't do that. God only gave you your life to live, and he gave us our life to live. All right. So we are to live it according to the way that God wants us to live our lives. Okay. So we're back on this about how to deal with talk to people. All right. And I want to go on in it because when I stopped, I was talking about people pleasing. All right. And we need to avoid becoming a people pleaser. All right. We need to avoid that. And a lot of times people start off pleasing people, trying to impress people. I call it impressing the people, you know. And it's okay to love people, to like people, and to want the best for people. You know, you should, because you want somebody to want the best for you. But, and there is a but there, when it comes down to putting your life on the back burner for somebody else, you know, for them to be pleased and them to be satisfied and you are not satisfied, well, that becomes a problem. It really becomes a problem, because you got to know too that just like they are should be well respected and appreciated, so do you. All right. And if you're not getting that, you know, and they don't see you that way for some reason, then you have to kind of move on. Don't get yourself caught up with that foolishness, because it becomes foolishness then. So let's get off into what it said about people pleaser. And I said, but for someone who is in a chronic people pleaser, those choices can feel out of reach. People pleasers often behave as if, listen to this, people pleasers often behave as being complaint is the only real option. They complain a lot. And they can even convince themselves that this is the right or selfless thing to do. And all the while, resentment can be built before the surface. So if you feel like you are a people pleaser, the following principles can help you steer toward a healthier, more balanced path. All right. Number one, that's what we talked about. Number one, embrace the idea that healthy relationships are balanced. All right. So if you're in a relationship where you do all the giving and the other person makes all the decisions, that's a huge red flag right there. Because the first step to balancing the relationship you're in or finding a healthy relationship is to strengthen your understanding of what is a healthy relationship really looks like. And in the times we're living in now, unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people don't understand what a healthy relationship looks like or feel like. And so therefore, if they don't understand what it looks like or feel like, they're not going to know what to expect. All right. So, but we got to understand that. All right. The next thing is, number 2 is nurture your confidence and self-worth. You got to learn to nurture your own confidence within yourself. And then you've got to also know your own self-worth. And so that goes back to not selling. You know, a lot of times people, they just get somewhere and they settle in it. They wallow in it. No. No, you are worldly. You are worldly. All right. You are worth something. Praise God. When God created you, he broke the mold. Amen. So you got to know within yourself. All right. You got to have confidence in God for yourself and know your self-worth in God. All right. So people pleasers is often rooted in a low self-esteem. People pleasers tend to feel insecure or may be convinced that they need to please others in order to be liked or even loved. Boost your confidence. All right. You got to learn how to boost your confidence. And number one, you boost your confidence in strengthening your friendships. Because your friendship is your friendships. There's going to be always somebody out there that really like you for you. All right. So learn to strengthen your friendships. Number two, pursue adventures. What do you like to do? Pursue your own adventures. All right. Number three, practice self-care activities. All right. Practice your own self-care, your own self-worth. In other words, learn to like yourself. Learn to like yourself, value yourself. Because if you learn to like yourself and value yourself, you won't have to change yourself for somebody else. Learn to like yourself and value yourself, and then you can love yourself. All right. 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Prioritizing things that brings joy to you and meaning to your own life. Because a lot of times, like I said, people, they might prioritize, but they're prioritizing for somebody else. And a lot of times when you do this, you're leaving your own self on the back burner. All right. No. That's why I say you got to really know who you are, know your own identity, and learn to love your own self. Look in the mirror and see what can you change about your own self. All right. Because what you can do about your own self is better than what you can do for somebody else. If you're always doing for somebody else and neglecting your own self, then that's a problem right there. Hello, Elcina. How you doing today? God bless you, Queen. So you nurture your confidence and self-worth. You strengthen your friendships. You pursuing adventures. You practicing self-care activities. And you prioritizing things that bring you joy and meaning in your own life. So doing so will also remind you that pleasing your own self is just as important as pleasing other people. All right. A lot of times, like I said before, we sit back and we concerned and we be worried about pleasing other people, but we don't think about pleasing our own selves. All right. Rehearse speaking the truth. People pleasers struggle with speaking up and speaking honestly, especially if they think that the truth will disappoint others. If needed, practice saying the words aloud by yourself or with a friend, and muster the courage to begin to speak truthful words to those around you. Do this regularly, and it will quickly become a new habit. So you've got to learn to speak truth. Yes, when you're honest and you're truthful, you might step on some people's toes. That's not honest. That's not truthful. You might step on some people's toes when you decide that you're your own man or you're your own woman. You see, you're going to disappoint some people. But like I said before, I wouldn't want to please somebody else all the time. And then I'm not being pleased myself. And that's not only in a relationship, marriageship, but that's in any ship. People got to understand, too, that you are just as important than they are. All right? And a lot of people don't see things like that. It's all about them. No, it's not all about you. No, it's not all about you. It's about other people, too. All right? And if people don't want to respect you and value like that, well, what's the use of you being with them for? It's crazy. And, I don't care who it is. We're talking in general. We're talking about people pleasing. All right? So the next one is going to be number 4. Stop thinking of boundaries as an attempt to control others. Stop thinking of boundaries as an attempt to control others. If you define boundaries in this way, no wonder they seem pointless. But healthy boundaries aren't about trying to control what you can't change. A lot of times, you see people, and you can't change people. Now, can people change themselves? Yes, if they want to. But you can't change them. So therefore, if you cannot change them, you cannot control them. A lot of times, and it's not good to start off this way, but a lot of people do start off like this. Some people, when they get with some people, and like I said, it does not matter what type of people they get with whomsoever. Everything is not dealing with a marriageship or a relationship. Some things is just dealing with people in general, okay? And a lot of times, we sit back and how many times have you said, I wish this person would change? Or I wish that person would change. And you want them to change for the better. Not the worse, but the better. And you pray too. You pray that they change. And you still don't see the change in them. Well, they have to want to change for themselves. Have you ever thought about it with the renewing of your mind? They have to want to change for themselves. And if they don't want to change, there's nothing that you can do. You can't control them and make them change. It's nothing that you can do. All right? Keep on praying, but it's something that you can do within yourself for yourself. You can change. You can change for the better. All right? You can change. If we working on our own selves better, then we wouldn't be worried so much and be concerned about so much other people. See, we got to balance our own selves. And the times we're living in now, it's almost like a road rage. Everybody trying to do this. Go over on somebody. Step out on somebody. Get in front of somebody. You know what I'm saying? It don't take all that. Stay in your own lane. Do your own thing. And worry about yourself. And stay out of other folks' affairs. So stop thinking of the boundaries as an attempt to control other people. All right? And like I said, I'm going to read it back again. If you define boundaries in this way, no wonder they seem pointless. But healthier boundaries aren't about trying to control what you can't change. They are about taking charge of what you can change. And what you can change is the truth that you speak. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. Just speak the truth. Because the truth is going to always prevail. All right? The actions you take and the requests that you make. Your actions that you take. You can't speak for nobody else. Which a lot of people try to do that, but you're wrong. You can't speak for other people, babe. You can only speak for yourself and what you got going on. Not about what nobody else got going on. And you speak the truth. When you speak, make sure it's the truth. All right? And then after you speak for yourself, which is the truth, then you take the actions for yourself and the requests that you make. So speaking the truth doesn't send the world spinning off its axle. Because some people going to believe and some ain't, but it's not about what they believe. It's about what you're saying, and you move on and you go on. Too many times we worry about other folks too much. We can stop that. Stay in your lane. All right? Except that being like, this says this number 5. Except that being like by everyone is impossible. Hello, beautiful Glenn O'Neill Ferris. How you doing, beautiful? Except the fact that some people won't like you will help you abandon unrealistic goals and expectations. Everybody's not going to like you. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, they're not going to like you. And then you've got some people is going to not only like you, but they're going to love you. They're going to respect you. They're going to cherish you. All right? They're going to worship God for you. All right? So everybody is not going to like you, no matter what you do. See, somebody always got something to say. All right? Somebody tune in just to see what you're saying so they can have something to say. Some people are just busybodies. All right? Some people are just busybodies. But except that being liked by everyone is impossible because everyone is not going to like you. Regardless of what. We're talking about today, people please. That's what we're talking about today. So accept the fact that some people won't like you will help you abandon unrealistic goals and expectations. if being a people pleaser could make everyone like you, it would still be far too great a price to pay. But the fact that not everyone is going to like you, no matter how complaint you are, no matter how much you complain about stuff, or no matter how much you give them a compliment, all right, it's still not going to stop them from liking you or not. Make people pleasing an even more fruitful endeavor. So the thing of it is, some people will work all day long, every day, all day, trying to please other people. But they still going to find some kind of fault in you. They're going to find a fault in you. No matter how much you go trying to please them, they're still going to find a fault in you. And some people just want to make a fool out of you. They want to see if they can make a fool out of you in some kind of way. They want to take advantage of you in some kind of way. And when they see that they can't make a fool out of you or take advantage out of you, they don't like you no more. They gone anyway. You see? So you're wasting your time trying to please people, because it should just come natural that people should like you. If they like you, they like you. Then have you ever had people that was fake? They start out acting like they like you. And then all of a sudden, they don't like you no more. All of a sudden, they done got with this one and that one. They done start talking about you. See, people get together and they start talking about you. See, and then depending on what the conversation is being said, and you're not hearing it, all right? Because they're doing a secret conversation. Then when you know anything, don't none of them like you no more. Well, what have you done to them? You ain't did nothing to them. But they had a secret conversation behind your back about you. And all of a sudden now, they don't like you anymore. You see? Well, they was fake friends. You got fake friends. You got fake relatives. You just got fakers. Fake neighbors. You just got people that's fake. All right? They never did really found you interested from the start. You got people that date people. They don't mean you no good. They fakers. But the Lord shows you people. I told you this on Lisa Live Ministry. The Lord shows you people all the time. And when they fakers, don't get upset about it. Don't get mad about it. God just revealed it to you. So thank God for revealing you the fakers and move on. That's all. All right. The next one is number 6. Act out of choice, not compulsion. All right. It's good to make choices. It's good for you to make choices. All right. It's good for me to make choices. We all got to make our own choices in life. It's good to make choices, even sacrificial choices. You're sacrificing for the choice to meet the needs of those around us. But saying yes should be a choice. All right. And it is not only a true choice when we give ourselves permission to respond in any other way as the need arises. So when somebody tell you yes, they're making a choice. They don't have to say yes. But if they say yes, they're saying yes out of the goodness of their heart. So we need to respect that. Even if they say no, you still need to respect the no. Why should you get mad if somebody tell you no? You can't make them. It's their choice. So that's why we have to have what you call a spirituality maturity. A spirituality maturity. All right, number 7. Develop new habits by practicing every day. Start by saying no or expressing a different opinion on small things. You may find what many recovering people pleasers have discovered. Speaking the truth doesn't send the world spinning off its axle. When you tell people the truth, some people gonna like it, some ain't. All right. In fact, you may be delighted to learn that your loved ones and true friends actually appreciate seeing and knowing the real you. All right. Ephesians chapter 4:25 says, therefore, each of you must put out falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbors, for we are all members of one body. So we just got to be truthful. We just got to be the real us. We shouldn't be faking and shaking. Don't nobody want to be around people that's faking. Here's a tip for helping you give up the people pleasing habit. Make a list of all the good things you believe other people deserve in life. The very things that you have made is your mission to provide if all possible. These might include things like respect. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody needs respect. I don't care who they are. Prosperity. Everybody should have prosperity. All right? Need prosperity. Safety. Your name is. Being as specific as possible and keep going until you can't think of any more. So, this old saying is an old golden rule. Do unto others as you will have them to do unto you. If you want respect, give me respect. You want appreciation? Give me appreciation. You want love? Give me love. You want joy, peace? I need it too. I deserve it just like you do. All right? You want happiness? I need happiness. You want prosperity? I need a prosperity too. I deserve it too. See, this ain't no one-sided deal. It ain't all about you and nobody else. You see? And I don't have to please you in order to receive the things that I need to receive from the Lord. All right? Just like you get things from God, I get things from God too. You see what I'm saying? Just like you God's child, I'm a child of God too. Y'all see what I'm saying? So we got to stop going out of beyond the call of duty for people that don't care nothing about you. Don't let nobody drag you in the mud. I don't care who it is. So choose to live a grace, Grace, choose to live a grace-filled life. Forgiveness is an essential. Forgiveness is an essential to living a grace-full life. God extends his grace to us, and he expects us to extend that grace to others. Now, let's talk about forgiveness. Should we forgive? Yes. We all should forgive. All right? Because God has forgiven us by everything that we have done. Has he not? If you have repented to him and you went to him, he will forgive you. But now here's the thing. Just because I forgive you or forgave you, I'm not going to be your fool. I'm not going to sit back and allow you to keep on doing something to me, and I'm back like a sick chicken, little puppy, gonna still be up under you all the time. I'm not gonna do that. Now, I'm talking about myself. I'm not gonna do that. All right? But I will forgive you, though. We ought to forgive one another. Now, if you treat me like I treat you, we can move on forward. But if you think because I forgave you that that's another way for you to deceive me or manipulate me, you got another thing coming. All right? Because I'm always be observant of you anyway. All right? Okay. So when you live your life full of bitterness and unresolved anger, that life is full of stress. And people must be constantly watching for the harm you know they would do. An event must be maliciously controlled to avoid the pain you are certain will come. All right? It says, under siege, you become a raw nerve of reaction, stressed out and defensive. Peace is so far away that you can't even see a glimmer of it on the horizon. All right, like I said before, you can forgive people. You don't have to be bitter. You can stay calm. One thing people don't understand is this. People can forgive you. All right? They can forgive you. But they don't have, it's a choice. They don't have to run with you anymore. That don't mean that they hate you. That don't mean that they're bitter towards you either. But they have a choice whether they still want to run with you or not run with you like that anymore. Some people have really gotten close to, and they done bit the apple out of them. They done talked about them. They done did everything in the world that they could do to try to humiliate them in some kind of capacity. You know, trying to destroy them. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Who gonna be constantly running with people like that? Now, like I said once again, yes, you forgive them. Yes, you still love them. Some people, y'all, you just got to love from a distance. Everybody, you can't love up close. All right? We just got to read. Everybody, no matter how much you run for them or you do for them, they still not going to be pleased with you. Some people are a guinea pig for other folks. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Some people are just guinea pigs for other people. When are you going to stop being their guinea pig? All right? So God don't want us to be no guinea pig for nobody. All right? God want people to treat us like we treat them. We all should treat people with respect. You know, you got some people, they just want to control you and everything that you do. They want to control you. They want to speak for you. They want to tell you what to say, when to say it, how to say it. You know, they are control freaks. They just want to control you. They want to take over you. All right. They want to rewrite your story. You can't rewrite nobody's story but your own. All right. So people should stop trying to do people like that. Or the thrill is long gone and been gone. But at the same time, they still want to take a baseball bat and your head is the ball and keep hitting you with the baseball bat. Baby, go on. Go on somewhere. You know, sometimes people just got to go on. And it comes a time where you have the choice of what type of people that you want in your life and what type of people that you don't want in your life. Everybody got that choice. And if they're not going to bring peace to you, value to you, integrity to you, love to you, more to you, God to you, you know, what's the use of you faking with me for? Devils fakes. Devil people fakes. I ain't lying. They'll fake it. They used to say, let's fake it till we make it. I can't fake nothing till I make it. If I'm making it, fine. If I'm not making it, still fine. I'm not going to fake it. You see, but some people, they know how to fake things. Why fake it? If you got it, you got it. And if you don't, you don't. You know, you don't have to keep on faking nothing. So the only path of peace is forgiveness and turning bitterness into kindness and resentment into compassion. By doing so, you claim victory over your enemies, and by refusing to participate in the war. By claiming victory, you establish your own peace of mind. And a lot of times when you're doing this, you got to walk away from it. You got to leave it alone. You know, you just, because some people want to go to war with you. They want to go to bed with you. They want word for word. You know, they want to say something and let you say something back. Just back and forth. No, you can learn to shut it down and leave it alone by giving them the silent treatment. And therefore, you got your peace. And hopefully, they got theirs. But you don't have to keep on going back and forth. It's unnecessary. It's really foolishness. And as you seek peace with the type of people in your life, don't forget to look at yourself. We all got work to do. God is still working on all of us. And if the truth be told, he's going to be working on all of us until he will come back. But just repent too. I do believe in repentance. And I also believe in deliverance. I do. All right? But I'm going to be real with you. Some type of people, no matter how hard you try, they still is going to always be throwing something towards you. Because see, some type of people ain't no drama. They ain't nothing with me. I ain't got time. Sometimes you just got to, like I say, they talked about setting your boundaries. And people don't have time for that, especially people that's going somewhere in life. Especially people that got visions. You know, they got a vision. They got goals set for them. You see? And I don't care how old you get, you never stop setting goals. Especially people that got some integrity about themselves. Especially people that got morals about themselves. Baby, they ain't got time for that. They don't have time for that. They got too much more stuff that they got going on. You know? And that's why I say if we get off of the other stuff, we won't be so concerned about people that's all this drama and, you know, they got too much of time on their hands. And people that got a lot of time on their hands, they ain't no telling what they'll do or say. So when you don't have that much of time in your hand, you don't have time for that. Sometimes the person have the hardest time forgiving is the one staring back at us in the mirror. And that is so true. People, they stay on Facebook more than they do anything. Now, I come on Facebook, and I got a Facebook ministry. I love being on Facebook and putting God's word out and put things out that people don't hear. Like this right here, being talked to. People ain't nobody talking about talked it. They might talk about it now since they don't heard of Lisa Live Ministry, but they ain't really talking about it. You see? So I put things on Lisa Live Ministry that people need to hear, need to refresh their memories on, refresh their minds on. You see? Need to know that this stuff do exist. All right? And then I also like to share different things to encourage people. But I cannot be on Facebook all day long. I would never get nothing done. All right? And when you fail to forgive yourself, you may spend a great deal of time, energy, attempting to make up for your faults, mistakes, and misjudgment. And when you are at war within yourself, you're not going to experience the peace. So a lot of times people don't rest good at nighttime, but I rest good at night. I go to bed good at night. I hope a lot of y'all do go to bed good at night and rest good at night. Because y'all, you got to know that you are important too. You deserve to be happy. I don't care what nobody say. You deserve to be happy too. In order to forgive either others or ourselves, we need to learn to live gracefully. We must stop withholding forgiveness until certain conditions are met. We must stop demanding payments for forgiveness. Instead, offer it as a gift, just as God does. I've heard more than one person tell me that forgiveness goes against their nature. What nature? Children have an incredible capacity to forgive. Somewhere along the line, we can lose that capacity as adults. But that doesn't mean we never had it or can't get it back. Living graceful means reconnecting with that capacity of forgiveness. According to the, I think that word is calculus of this world, forgiveness and the grace that it takes doesn't add up. There are times when extending grace through forgiveness will be the exact opposition of what you feel like doing. Forgiveness seems risky and wrong. Grace set it up its own intentional contradiction because grace is not a human concept. Grace is a divine concept. Grace sounds a startling note of contradiction of liberation. And every day I must pray anew for the ability to hear its message. Sometimes the people we have the hardest time forgiving is the one staring back at us in the mirror. All right? No one said treating others with grace is going to be easy. All right? God took a great risk by announcing forgiveness in advance, and the scandal of grace involves a transfer of that risk to us. Living graceful means living risky at peace with the risk. How can risk coexist with peace? When God is in charge of the equation, that's when. Sometimes it is helpful to create a radical to help visualize the act of letting go and forgiving. Write down, and it just tells you to write down a description of the offense or toxic behavior that you'll like to forgive. And you might include drawing that represent your anger to pain. And imagine that the words in imagine actually contain all the emotions you'll carry. All right? But I am going to say, I'm going to move on. Living graceful means living risky and at peace with the risk, within the risk. A lot of people, like I say, a lot of times it ain't all about relationships. Well, it's about relationships, y'all, but I'm not talking about, it's not all about marriage ships. Sometimes it's about, you got parents. Didn't do right with the children. You got some parents ran off from their kids and didn't raise them right. It's a lot of things that people go through in life is what I'm saying. All right? But at the same time, it's a done deal. Whatever it was, it is a done deal. All right? You can't change it. Forgive and move on. But don't let people stop you from living your life. All right? You got a life to live. That's what I'm saying. All right. Focus on a healthy problem solving. Let's talk about that. You don't stress out. Let me read this to you. Don't stress out about how all of this grace and forgiveness and risk and peace is going to work out. Trust God to figure it out for you. Ask Him to show you the way to give grace and forgive, then follow where it leads. So focus on healthy problem solving. That's number one. Over the course of my practice, I've developed a list of characteristics of helping people helping problem solvers. Problems, of course, carrying with them the seeds of both conscious and conflict. So number one, to focus on the problem solving, number one goal is to resolve the problem and not to win. But what about this? What about when people don't want to solve the problem? Because see, nobody wins when you can't forgive. No way. Nobody wins. when you cannot forgive. Nobody wins. It goes back to respect, though. It goes back to respect. Once we learn how to respect one another, then we can learn how to forgive one another too. All right? Or once we learn how to forgive one another, we can learn how to respect one another. It goes back to respect. You've got to learn to respect people. All right? You've got to learn to respect people. I'm going to say it again. You've got to learn to respect people. That's the problem. We've got to learn to respect one another. People don't like to respect one another, and I don't like that. So we've got to learn to respect one another. That's what we think. That's what we don't do. We don't like to respect each other. You want me to respect you. All right, if I respect you, you respect me. Because you ain't no better than I am. Number 2, so the goal to resolve the problem is not to win. Nobody's a winner when it's all this chaos and toxic and drama. But we can learn to respect each other. So you may find if you only want to win that you have won the battle, but you lost the war. Problems and how they are handled have short-term and long-term consequences. Be aware of both of them. So the goal is to resolve the problem, but not to win the problem. Number 2, some problems won't go away on their own. Some problems, they won't disappear for them instead of avoiding them. So as soon as possible, find a way to deal with them. Unattended problems can balloon out of control and are harder to address later on. But that's again, a lot of problems can be erased or resolved, but it depends on the maturity of the people. Because you can say, let's talk. I don't want to talk. Then you can wait a while. No, I don't want to. And then some people know they're doing wrong, but they still don't want to do wrong. You don't have to go along with nobody wrongdoing. That's not how you get respect, no way. You don't have to go along with nobody compromising. A lot of people like to compromise wrongdoing. What if you're one of the ones that don't like compromising? You don't like to compromise the wrongdoing. See, it's a lot into this, y'all. It ain't just 1, 2, 3. It might be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's a lot of stuff goes on in this, all right? But you do want the problem solved, all right? But some people are so miserable. They don't want no problem solved. They want to keep on they want to be just like the fire over there in California. They want to keep on burning. I'm telling you now, some problems won't go away on their own. But the two people don't want to come together right. And then you got a lot of instigators that always instigate stuff. You see? And that's putting more fuel to the problem. So it's a lot goes on into this. So what do? I tell you what I would do. Just step back from it. Yeah, pray and step back from it. Step back from it. Be open to unique solutions. You might have an initial idea of how to solve a problem, but sometimes once you hear different opinions, you might change your mind. You may have a good solution at first, but it may not be the best solution. Number 3. Let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Forgive yourself and others. All right. When the boundaries are breached, repair them with forgiveness. Now, that's a good one. A lot of times, how many times have you beat your own head and you said, Lord, I wish I had never done this. I wish we had never got together. I wish I had never laid eyes on him or her. I'm being real. Because I'm a realist. Lisa Live Minister, we real on Lisa Live Minister. I wish I had never, ever had that conversation. And then sometimes, depending on what's going on, you find other people's blaming you for other folks' bad behavior. Well, it was a choice you made. It was something that you done. Because here's the thing. They really want to get to that bad behavior person. And really want to tell that bad behavior person how they truly feel. But since they really can't get to that bad behavior toxic person, they take it out on the ones that they can get close to. So it's a lot goes into this, y'all. It's a lot goes into this. And a lot of times people do. They get to the point that I wish I'd never met you. I wish I had never known nothing about you. And it can go with anybody. It don't have to be a relationship. It can be anybody. Especially when people don't treat you right. It can be with anybody. Yeah. You'll sit back and say, I really wish I had never met you. If I'd have known you was going to be like this. But that's the thing. You never know how people going to be until you get to know them. But you still have to learn to forgive others. Forgive yourself and then forgive others and move on. Accept that life is not always fair. And that sure is true. Because life is not always fair. But you have to accept that life is not always fair. Problems and the way people handle them are not always fair. What is fair to one person may be seen unfair to another by another person. Deal with one problem at a time. Don't let them pile up. Try not to. There may be other problems swirling around you, but you can realistically only handle one problem at a time. So don't try to take all the problems of the world at once. They will bury you. Don't put too much on you at one time. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anticipate a positive outcome. Anticipate a positive outcome. When you enter into life problem-solving mode, be optimistic. This attitude may seem simple, but it is enormously helpful. And if you begin to tackle problems thinking that there is no good answer, how motivated will you be to solve it? Believe in your ability to solve the problem. This concept goes hand in hand with the previous one, and there's a difference in believing that there is no answer and believing you have no answer. Yet, trust yourself to be able to find that answer. All right? When working through problems, be aware of how you're communicating to yourself and to others. Problems are stressful, so avoid problem solving. Keep your head in the game and be aware of how all involved are dealing with the problems. Reclaim your personal I want you to know this. I'm going to try to go and get through with this book. So you can, if you can stay with me, stay with me. If you can't, you can't. Reclaim your personal power back. I'm going to say it again. Reclaim your personal power back. Most often, toxic behavior is designed to convince you with words, actions, and ideals that you are powerless, without rights. This is a lie. You have rights and power. You have the right to be treated fairly and respectfully. You have the power to say no if someone threatens to hurt you. You have the right to live your life free of worry and that you will be undermined. You have the power to forgive those who hurt you. You have a right to make your own decisions, even if those differ from the decisions of others. Reclaiming your personal power means learning to love and trust yourself. All too often, this begins as a much more fundamental level, knowing yourself. If you have been overshadowed by a toxic person, it may be that you have forgotten how to finish statements like this. I am. Who are you? Know who you are. I am, and I'm gonna use me for an example, all right? I am Lisa Taylor. I love Lisa Taylor. Because you got to love yourself. You got to know your identity. All right? You got to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, can't nobody else tell you who you are. I want you to know that. All right? And you knew who you was before you even start talking and dealing with these types of people. All right? So you got to know I am Lisa Taylor. I love Lisa Taylor. So not only do you know who you are, but you got to love who you are. You got to love who you are becoming. You're not the same as you was decades and years ago. Something has changed about you. Changed for the better. So I am Lisa Taylor. I love Lisa Taylor. I don't like disrespect. I don't like disrespect. All right? I deserve to be happy. I deserve, and desire prosperity. All right? Peace and joy, happiness. All right? And I need God for it all. I need God for everything. Okay? So take some time now and complete these sentences as honest and extravagant as your heart desires. You may find it difficult at first, but keep it in mind until you plan a clear picture of who you are. All right? Reclaiming your personal power means learning to love and trust your own self. Because, see, you got to learn to trust your own self before you can trust anybody else anyway. All right? That was the man I worked with who went back to school and began a sudden career, realizing his first career had been his father's decision, not his own. There was a woman I knew who rearranged and redecorated her house, realizing she's previously chosen items and colors her mother approved of, but she really didn't like it. I've seen people adapt their religion belief, adjust their friendship, and alter their goals as statements of independence and reconnection with their personal power. In each case, they battle fear yet experience exhortation and connecting with themselves instead of trying to be or please someone else. So still, reclaiming your personal power isn't just finding a way to say you are or say yes to the things you really want. It is also finding a way to say no to the things other people really want from you or for you to do for them. Even those things are good. Many emotional abusers will try to force you, watch that word force you into a black and white world of stark decisions, where their opinion is great and yours is horrible. Many decisions in life aren't at the poles of great and horrible. They lie somewhere in between. Ultimately, you are responsible for your own choice and actions. Everybody is responsible for their own choice and actions. That's why you cannot let people persuade you to do something that you haven't thought about, haven't prayed about, that you might not want to do. Stop allowing people to persuade you and force you to do things. You got a mind just like they got a mind. You got a choice just like they got a choice. You matter just like they matter. As the Bible says, each one should test their own actions, and then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else, for each one should carry their own load. Galatians 6:4-5. So, stop letting people force you into doing things, that you don't want to do. And don't let people take over you either, because people love trying to take over people. No, stay in your lane. Don't try to take over nobody. Take over yourself. 15 ways to deal with criticism. Being the target of criticism may be a fairly common experience, but it is also one of the most stinging. No one wants to be told they are doing something wrong or living up to the expectations of failing to perform. All right? So, when you're taking, it's a 15 ways to deal with criticism. Number 1, consider the critic. If the person is a family member you trust, you might be more receptive than, say, a co-worker who is after your job. Recognize the nature of your relationship with the other person will determine how seriously to take the criticism. So consider the critics. Number 2, evaluate the person who is a chronic fault finder or typically an encounter. Some people have a critical spirit and a negative outlook, but the criticism of someone you support is much easier to accept. Number 3, assess if there is an agenda at play. What's your agenda? What's your motive? Try to understand the other person's motive. Is he truly trying to help you improve? Or is he trying to embarrass you to make you feel infuriated? So you have to watch people's motives. That's one thing. You have to watch people's motive. All right? You got to also watch people fault finders. Because some people find fault in everything you do, but don't see nothing in what they do. All right? Notice how the criticism was delivered. Words spoken in a gentle, affirming manner indicates that the person is on your side, trying to help you improve. All right? Number 5, remain open, even if you don't want to. It is possible that the critical remark is accurate or contain at least some truth. Number 6, respond, don't react. What you might be tempted to give a knee-jerk reaction, defending yourself and lashing out to even the score, but hasty and emotion-fueled reaction will likely make the situation worse. Number 7, let the dust settle. If you need a follow-up conversation about the criticism, give your emotions ample time to cool. Talk calmly and rationally. Number 8, evaluate your risk approach. Sometimes the best thing is to keep quiet and say as little as possible to respond. Other times it's best to ask for clarification or provide more information to clear up misunderstanding. Number 9, decide if you should own it or let it go. As that saying goes, when you're in the wrong, admit it. When you're in the right, be quiet. Because if you're in the wrong, you can admit you're wrong. If you're in the right, be quiet because you don't owe nobody no explanation. All right? Number 10, determine what change is desired. For an example, if you are criticized for being chronically late and you agree with the assessment, you know specifically what you need to improve on. Punctuality. But if your critical remarks are vague, ask the person what exactly he is wanting you to change. 11, reframe the terms. For obvious reasons, the word criticism and even the word constructive criticism has negative implications. And if you are sure that the person intends to assist you, think of the discussions as helpful feedback or useful input. 12, get a third opinion. Get a third opinion. You know what the other person's opinion is, and you know your own opinion. If you are unsure who is right, seek input for someone who can be objective. 13, tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. If the person's feedback proved to be right on, accept it without making excuses. Be grateful that someone was willing to be honest with you. 14, ask for a positive comment. If the person is willing to criticize you, she should be willing to compliment you as well. It's perfectly fine to say, I accept your reproof, and I like to also hear what you think I'm doing well. 15, practice self-acceptance. Criticism, even if only partially accurate, remind us that we are not perfect and have things to work on. Just like everyone on earth, give yourself plenty of grace and understanding. Everybody got things, that they can be working on. And I'm going to say this, and this is it. This is the last of the book. And I hope that y'all really enjoyed this book. You don't deserve mistreatment. I'm going to say it 3 times. Excuse me. You don't deserve mistreatment. One more time. You don't deserve mistreatment. Let me get some water. Nobody deserves mistreatment. Get that heater for the girl. I want you to understand that real good with the renewing of your mind. You don't deserve mistreatment. Don't turn it off. Toxic behavior from a toxic person often starts out as mild in irritation and progresses to become alarming, offensive, or worse yet, abusive. Because see, anytime anybody is mistreating you, it is abuse in some kind of capacity. All right? And that's what I want y'all to know right here on Lisa Live Ministry. That mistreatment is abuse. All right? And especially if the person is constantly keep doing it. If they keep doing it, it's abuse, y'all. Mistreatment is abuse. And you do not deserve to be mistreated. I don't care who you are. All right? You don't deserve to be mistreated now. As a mental health professional for more than 30 years, I'm very concerned about the often overlooked issue of emotional abuse. For many years, I have noticed that the focus of abuse, even the concept of abuse, have centered around the physical or sexual aspect of abuse. The signs of emotional abuse, however, are easier to overlook. There is no scar tissue to stretch, no bruise to yellow and heal, no grasping wound to point to. In spite of their invisibility, emotional wounds comprise a damaged form of abuse. So emotional abuse is often difficult to spot and easy to dismiss. But just as physical and sexual abuse have signposts to mark their presence, emotional abuse being a systematic attack as one's sense of self, as common traits. And just as physical and sexual abuse comes in degree of severity, emotional abuse runs the gamut of intensity and damage. It exits, apart from physical and sexual abuse, as incredibly destructive into an emergent sense of self. All of us have one time or another come on attack by people who just happen to be having a bad day. And they take out their frustrations on us. And we feel battered by the winds of their emotions. We have all had it happen to us. We have all probably been guilty of it a time or two. No one is perfect. And all of us slip up and occasionally say or do things we know we shouldn't. That's normal. But that might be normal. But some people keep on doing stuff. Some people do it in repetition. Some people doing it because they doing it to hurt. Some people are just so stuck on stupid until they keep on doing stuff. And that's the problem. That's a big problem. Emotional abuse isn't normal. Emotional abuse is the consistent pattern of being treated unfairly and unjustly over a period of time, usually by the same person or people. It can also be a one-time trauma. Even that is left unresolved. Emotional abuse is an intentional assault by one person or another to destroy the victim's view of self, and that the victim allows the abuser to control him or her. See, that's why I don't like forcing. Don't force yourself on nobody, because you shouldn't want nobody to force themselves on you. Don't abuse nobody. Stop controlling people. That's an X. Stop controlling folks and telling folks what to do. Go somewhere and sit down with that. Stop controlling people. People don't want to be controlled. People don't want to be forced to do this and forced to do that. Don't you know people know what they want to do? People have choices. All right? So I concluded this book and this sincere attack to people with the most important point of all. You deserve to be treated with respect. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect. And this is what you're going to have to set your boundaries on. If you can't respect me, don't contact me. If you can't respect me, don't call me, don't text me, don't do anything. All right? Because if I'm going to respect you, you're going to respect me. Period. Period. So if you can't do it, then leave me alone. I'm not bothering you. I don't want you bothering me. Point blank, period. I'm not going to lose no sleep out for you. Trust me on that. I'm going to go on with my life, and you're going to go on with yours. I send you my blessings. All right? I want your blessings in return, but you've got to learn how to respect people. And that's the biggest pet peeve that people are doing these days and time. They are not respecting people. What's wrong with you? No. You need to learn how to respect folks. All right? You deserve to be treated with respect. You also deserve to be treated with honor. H-O-N-O-R, honor. You deserve to be treated with honor. You want people to honor you, but you don't want to honor nobody? It don't work. You also deserve to be treated with dignity. All right? Dignity at all times by all people. It is true that each of us encounter difficult individuals and must endure offense actions from selfish people on occasion. This is a part of life. But, number one, ongoing, this is what I'm talking about, ongoing disrespect is unacceptable. You got a lot of people, all they know is to disrespect you. They'll disrespect you and your whole family. That's called ongoing disrespect. You got to know where to draw the line. It ain't that type of party. Ongoing, just a continuation of it. Every time, here he come. Here come John Doe, let's disrespect him. Here comes Sally Sue, let's disrespect him. It's called ongoing disrespect. See, some people, that's all they want to do. You know what? 2025, we trying to stay alive. I am not dealing with people with this ongoing disrespect. Every time I turn around, they doing something. Ongoing disrespect. Miracle, who is it? Hold on a minute, y'all. You all right? Trying to get off my line. Yeah, you just go ease on in there. I see you got your hot dog. You went to the here come Shane Miracle. Look at she turned to you wrong for that. You wrong for that on Lisa Live Ministry. You doing all right?
Yeah.
That's good. Whew. All right, y'all. Let me get to with this right quick. All right. So anyway, ongoing disrespect is unacceptable. All right. Consistency, unkindness is not justified. All right. You don't go around here just being consistency unkind to people. We're not doing that. Consistency, unkindness. All right. And then injustice of any kind should not be tolerated. So if a toxic person is turning your life into a toxic experience, this is not what God intends for you. Be courageous, be strong, be persistent, be resilient, and be free of toxic people. Thank you, Jesus. It tells you right here. So you're going to have to learn to be courageous, be strong, be persistent, and be resilient, and be free of toxic people. Get them out your life. All right, now, this ends the series on how to deal with toxic people. I pray right here on Lisa Live Ministry y'all learned something, all right? I pray that you have took some notes and I pray that this was deep to my heart, my mind, my spirit, and my soul. Because I don't like people dealing with people that's, they think they're a dog and all they want to do is stomp on them and treat them bad. Talk behind their back and do them like dogs and going, people got to deal with you. You toxic.